Let's play a game of Guess the Knife. What knife are we looking at in today's video? The one on the left or the one on the right? There's only one difference between these two knives. Can you guess what it is? Well, this one here is the Victorinox Farmer, which in the middle tool is a wood saw. And this here, which is the knife we're looking at now, is the Victorinox Pioneer X. Now, why did I start the video like that? Well, for the fun of it. But also that they're both the exact same knife, with one, well, it's kind of a small difference, but it's also a really big difference. This is the Victorinox Pioneer X, which is essentially just a Victorinox Farmer, but instead of having a wood saw like the Victorinox Farmer, this knife replaces said wood saw with a pair of scissors. And that is quite a big deal. Which, by the way, the Victorinox Farmer is literally just a Victorinox Pioneer with an added wood saw. Interesting, that, isn't it? Well, it's interesting if you like Swiss Army knives anyway, which I'm absolutely mad over them. Could you tell? Anyway, what do we have here? Well, this is a 91mm Alox Swiss Army knife. According to Cutlery Lover, Alox is aluminium oxide. That's the materials here used to make the handle scales, and people go absolutely nuts over these Alox models, especially the ones in the fancy colours. I'm too much of a peasant to afford those, so I usually just get the standard ones. So let's start off with the opening layer, shall we? So we've got the can opener, which has a flathead screwdriver which serves as a Phillips driver. We've also got a screwdriver, bottle opener, and a wire bender. Not that anyone really knows how to use the wire bender. And I would like to point out that on the Pioneer models, those screwdrivers seem to be a little bit beefed up from where I'm sitting. Let me just compare that to a standard red Swiss Army knife. Would you agree that that's beefed up? Yeah, that's got to be. So I just feel like that's an interesting comparison. And on the 2008 Soldier model, which is the one they use now, I swear it's beefed up even more than that. So there you go. Now that's probably one of the best screwdrivers on any pocket knife you're going to get. Which this stays at the, has a sort of half stop, so you could use like this if you wish. We'll skip the middle tool for just now. We have a wood awl, which this is one of my favourite awls on any pocket knife or multi-tool ever, just because you can actually hold it properly, opposed to, I'll just show you, it's a lot easier. Moment please. Okay, this is a lot more comfortable and easier to use than this. Not that there's anything wrong with this at all, this is absolutely fine, but trust me when I say this is preferable. Moving on. The main blade, which is the exact same blade as you will find on most of the other Pioneer models. Again, with the beefiness, if we compare it to another, or to the Ranger again, sorry, you could see there that they're basically just the exact same blade. But if we do it side by side like this, you could see that the Pioneer is beefed up. It's considerably thicker, therefore stronger, although it will be a little bit less slicey. I find these Pioneer models to be a bit less slicey, but overall, these models are a lot stronger, as far as I'm aware anyway. Now then, let's get to the star of the show. Right in the middle, which I would like to say the nail nick is strange. If you're used to the standard red Swiss Army knives, the non-Alox models, this one is strange because the nail nick is on the opposite side. We're talking about the scissors here. Let's see. I shouldn't have closed them there, I should have just talked about it. Anyway, here's the start of the show. Those famous, much loved Victorinox must-have scissors. If you do not have a Swiss Army knife, a Victorinox Swiss Army knife with scissors, why not? You need one. Right now, you probably think you don't need one, but you need one. Trust me when I say you need one. You'll buy it and you'll use it non-stop, I promise. Anyway, enough being a fanboy for now. This is what makes this model so special. Most Alox models from Victorinox do not have scissors. This, right now, being the only one in production that does. Aside from the Alox Mini Champ and the Alox SD Classic, this is the only full-sized Swiss Army knife that you can get that's in production with scissors. Now, there's two other ways to get a full-sized Victorinox Alox with scissors. That is buying a much older model, as far as I'm aware, or buy it from a modder, or you can do it yourself. So that involves drilling out those pins, which I forgot to mention. Yes, this is a 3-pin construction, but you know that anyway because you've got eyes that I assume work. Yeah, 3-pin construction. So some people like to drill those out and do that with several models, mix up the tools to get a combination that they like. That's all well and good if you've got a lot of money to spend on these. I mean, this is a 40 quid knife. I'd rather not be drilling it, to be honest. But some people will do that to get the tool combination that they love. Now, how this came about actually was everyone saying that the Victorinox Farmer was pretty much the perfect Swiss Army knife out there, and you know what? It goddamn well is. Or was. Or, you know what? These two are kind of fighting for it. They've both got their place. A lot of people, as far as I could tell, were taking the Farmer, taking the wood saw out and replacing it with scissors, and everyone wanted a Pioneer with scissors. So about 3 or so years ago, Victorinox decided, alright, we're going to make the Pioneer X, and we've got this little beauty. So there we go. I remember when these first came out, people were going absolutely nuts over them. To be honest, I was the same. I was kind of nuts over it as well. I wanted one, but I just never bit the bullet. Until recently, my girlfriend handed me a cookie and a donut, and this was hiding between the two of them. It fell out, which was kind of funny. I was a bit confused at first, but there you go. So this one was actually a gift from her, which is lovely. So let's open up all the tools and compare it directly against the Victorinox Farmer, because you'll see that they're literally the exact same thing. Only difference being the wood saw. This is a bit of a pain in the ass to do behind the camera. Right, okay. Well, there you have it anyway. So there's the Pioneer X. So let's just have a look at that while I open up the tools on the Farmer, and you'll see what I mean by it's the exact same tool set. Only difference being the Farmer has the wood saw instead of the scissors. And I've got more on that just shortly. Pretty sure the Farmer was the second, either the first or second Alox model I ever got. I don't remember if I got the Farmer first or the Cadet first. Cadet's another excellent Swiss Army knife. I don't see much use for it, to be honest. Okay, so here we are. Right, well you can see anyway that there's basically the exact same tool set. So here's the Farmer, there's the wood with the wood saw. Now I'm just going to quickly close up all these tools again, because there's something I'd like to show you. This is one of those little picky things that Swiss Army knife collectors like to point out. Okay, Do you notice anything here? Both the middle tools. Well, the saw is on the same end as the shield, whereas the scissors is on the opposite end. That's interesting. They basically swapped them around. Not really sure why they've done that. A little bit odd. Focusing again on the Pioneer X, which again is the star of the show here. I was saying about the nail nick. It's on the opposite side from most Swiss Army knife scissors. Here we have the Ranger, which I like to use for comparisons. You see there's no shield on this side. And that is the side of the nail nick to open the scissors. Whereas it's on the opposite side. This thing would focus, that'd be really nice. It's on the opposite side on the Pioneer X. So that's just one of those things that I find kind of confusing. I don't know why they thought that'd be a good idea to do that. So I have both shields facing the camera. We could see on this one right here we've got the nail nick, whereas on the other one we don't. Reverse it, nail nick, no nail nick. Why did you do that, Victorinox? That just seems kind of strange. I trust that someone in the comments is going to inform me. Absolutely no problem with that, to be honest. That's part of the reason I like to do this YouTube channel, so we can learn from each other. It's not just me turning on a camera and blabbering about knives so much. I do quite like the community feedback. And while we're at it, here's the Ranger for comparison anyway. Speaking of comparisons, yep, you know that clunk, clunk, clunk very well already. Manly Wasp. Said it before, and I'm going to say it again, and you already know what I'm going to say. I'm going to fanboy a little bit more. You can't go wrong with a Swiss Army knife because they're so damn friendly. Maybe this one, not so much, but think about this. If you were to use one of these outside or in an office or whatever, bearing in mind these are both UK legal to carry, both the cutting edges are under 3 inches, and they're non-locking. Even though that one can be opened by one hand, still legal to carry and definitely legal to own. Swiss Army knives, everyone knows what a Swiss Army knife is. It's non-intimidating, blah 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 blah. We know the script, right? Anyway, bye bye Manly Wasp. So then, why would you want to choose between, or which would you like to choose rather, between the Pioneer X or the Victorinox Farmer? Well, that's honestly personal preference. I suppose it depends on what you're doing most. Are you out in the woods more often, or are you in a sort of street or in a city more often? Pioneer X is a bit more urbanized, whereas the Farmer, it's kind of in the name to be honest, it's more of a working, I mean they're both working knives obviously, but the Farmer is much better suited to being out walking in the woods, for camping, and it's very popular for bushcraft also. Pioneer X, you could absolutely do those things, but the scissors are better in an urban environment, you know, for opening packages, cutting your nails, etc, etc. So it depends which one you're doing really. If you want a combination of both, you're honestly better to go with something like the Victorinox Huntsman, although that's just the standard scales, it doesn't have the allocs. So take your pick. Me collecting them and being absolutely nuts about Swiss Army knives, where you can see I've got them both here. That said, if you absolutely need both, scissors and a saw, which those are two of my favourite tools, I feel I need to have both on a multi-tool. If you really have to have both, I would suggest go with a Farmer and getting either a SD Classic, a Classic, an SD Classic, or a Mini Champ. So here we've got an Allox Mini Champ. These two, the Farmer and the Mini Champ pair up extremely well because you've got the tools of the farmer, you know, the saw, but the Mini Champ or Classic has the scissors. So that pretty much wraps up this video. Tell me, what do you think of the Victorinox Pioneer, Pioneer X rather? Do you have one? How often do you use it? What are you using it for? Let me know your thoughts. See you later.